Damn, y'all feel that?
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. A message to all you pseudo spitters. The sound is cool, but the trend I see is the truth is missing. I feel the flow is stupid. You claim that the music's different. I guess it's all opinion, depending on who was listening.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR_podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back, and we are in the building for episode 58 of No Roast Podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR, and we are back. And it's been a minute because we've been booked and busy, and also it's football season, so I do apologize for that too. I've been distracted by this. A lot going on with that, a lot going on with work, a lot going on with life, but it's a lot going on with wrestling as well, and that's why we're here and we're back, and we about to give you a show for episode 58. But before we dive into it, I gotta ask my brothers how they're doing today. So my brothers, how are y'all feeling today? Big Harv and J-Bo himself.
I am feeling accomplished. So that means I'm feeling good. Can't really complain. What about you, Big Harv?
Hey, man, it's Friday, so it's a good day.
That's right. It's Friday. Today is a good day. Before we dive into this episode, y'all gotta do this one simple favor for us. For the Black Hoodie Gang over here, y'all gotta do this one simple favor for us, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms. Dang it, I ain't did that, man. We're gonna run it back real quick. Follow us on all social media platforms: KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. No Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, on everything. And don't forget to get your merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR podcast. Let's get it, let's go, and let's do the show. First and foremost, we're gonna talk about this thing that's been causing a glitch on our TVs lately.
Mm-hmm.
Raw been doing something, little freaky with the TV screens. They made me think like I ain't paid my cable in a minute with these like transitions of these QR codes that are going across the screen with these little images, these little transitions, and all of that glitz and glamour that they got going on. You know, they're trying to do something special, trying to do something new, trying to do something different. This is the Triple H era right now, and he's got something up his sleeve. Feel like it's a surprise coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're waiting. We're trying to figure out what it is, but we need to know. We got another hint on the last episode of Raw with another QR code. Was freaking me out, made me change my television back to football because I thought something was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got this whole thing about a white rabbit, a rabbit. I like rabbits. It kind of go hand in hand. Anyway, that's another story. But we got the whole white rabbit thing going on right now. When we trying to figure out what does that represent, what does it inquire, what does it all mean? Because my brothers, help me out, help me figure this out. What do you think is going on with this whole QR code white rabbit yada stuff that's happening right now?
I'm curious on hearing how Harv's thoughts are on this one, so I'm gonna let him kick this one off.
I think we all know who it is, man. I think we've been waiting on the return.
You've been waiting on the return.
Prophesized. All right. It's the return of Adam Rose, baby. He's back. The party animal's back. The white
boy.
Oh,
I don't want to be person that shit on somebody's parade, but like, you know how much of a disappointment if that's the real thing.
Woo,
man, boy, that would be great.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like it's too obvious that it would be Bray Wyatt in any capacity, so I do feel like it's gonna be underwhelming, in my opinion. So I really don't know who it is. I feel like the way that they're doing things is very Jericho-esque. Seems like something more Jericho would do, and we know it's not going to be Jericho, so I really don't know who it's going to be. But the White Rabbit, it always makes me think of Adam Rose. So, forgot what his original gimmick, Leo Kruger.
Leo Kruger, yeah.
Couldn't speak English, just gibberish all the time. He's smiling, weird crap, and pull his hair, you know what I'm saying? It's like Hunter or some crap, but yeah. Adam Rose, baby, back.
If it is Adam Rose, then we got quite a few questions about the upcoming Triple H era. That'll be a bigger disappointment than the AEW fans who thought who was going to come out, but end up getting Johnny Elite, whatever the heck that is. I'm with Harv on this one. It's obvious, and honestly, if it was anybody else, I think it will be very disappointing, and they'll have a lot of work to do to build whoever that would be. If it's Bray Wyatt, it'll work up the alley. I've seen all kind of rumors and wrestling blogs talking about, White Rabbit is more than just Bray Wyatt this time. There's a faction. In fact, that was a fantasy faction that I saw. I highly doubt it's going to happen, but it was interesting. They said that Karrion Kross, Bray Wyatt, obviously Dexter Lumis, and Strowman all in one group. Like that's super heavy, and honestly, that's fantasy. But once again, if we're talking about Triple H era and building newer guys or returning guys in bigger factions, something like that is going to be necessary. But Bray Wyatt, he'll be fine all by himself. So I'm interested to see what it is, but I honestly don't think it's anybody else other than Bray.
Sound good, sound about right. The whole thing that should sound good, sound obvious, is Bray Wyatt. I'm gonna go for a dark horse one. I'm gonna say Joe Gacy. That's the only another cryptic type of wrestler I could think of that fits whatever type of mold that they got going on with these weird commercial transitions of all these different graphics and like haunted theme, whatever. It fits the bill. I would say somebody like, it gotta be something like along those lines. I would say Aleister Black, but he just did a video about something addressing like issues going on. So like I wouldn't say it's him currently at the moment. And like Bray Wyatt, it seems like too obvious, but I don't think they're trying to do the like more obvious route right now with stuff and trying to keep us on our toes and our feet. So I don't think they will build anticipation like that for Bray Wyatt. Grant, they may do like this whole White Rabbit and do a debut of something or somebody and fool everyone. Then Bray Wyatt come out in another feature or something like that it kind of involves with, but it's not really with that whole thing. But I'm gonna go with Joe Gacy though for like a call up, because I feel like he's ready for that main roster push. He has the look. He has this whole gimmick down, and he's not a bad wrestler in ring. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to him.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a sight. I think they're building it quite heavy. I mean, not heavy, but it's a regular thing. It's a weekly thing. They make it seem like, okay, they're going to give more news on SmackDown, but it's just another hint. And then the hint leads to Raw. All right, they're going to give more news on Raw, but it's just another hint that leads to SmackDown. Like they're dragging it on. So even if it's, somebody like Joe Gacy or the return of Leo Kruger, no matter which way it goes, there's high expectation for whoever it is. High expectation.
I might not know who they put in the role yet. They might pull a Raw, what's the automated Raw GM and have it be Hornswoggle. We don't know. They might have just had a good idea and just not know how to tie it together. We'll have to see.
We gotta wait and see what happens. And it's funny that you mentioned this whole thing that is like Chris Jericho-esque with everything that's going on. Let's talk about Chris Jericho for a second. Let's transition over to AEW real quick. So Chris Jericho is currently the new Ring of Honor champion. I would say the person's name he beat, but I can't really pronounce it all the way. So I'm gonna call him the Man Cesaro to keep it long. Look at J-Bo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I can't pronounce his last name.
You can't say Claudio Cascanoli.
I couldn't say the end part. I was gonna call him like Muscacholi or something like that. But yeah. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, my man Claudio got defeated by Chris Jericho, unfortunately, and yeah, you weren't too pleased about it when it happened, as you were in the group chat. But I mean, unfortunately, that does make Chris Jericho a holder of a lot of the major titles on like the but all like major wrestling brands that are currently out today, before and after. But do you think this is unnecessary for him to have this title reign as a Ring of Honor champion?
100% unnecessary. Look, and we talked about this in the group chat. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to put star power in Ring of Honor in their inevitable relaunch, rebrand, whatever. but you don't need to. Ring of Honor is a thing on its own. It can have the star power, it can have the wrestling, it can have the future of its own. I think what happened, and again, I said this in the group chat, was that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor because he freaking can. And he never really had a long-term goal with Ring of Honor because his main focus is AEW. So now he had Ring of Honor. He owned it for a while and nothing has been going on. Sure, Claudio, he had his shine with the belt. He finally became world champion, which was long overdue. But there was just nothing else after that. It was lackluster. So now they give it to Jericho to try to bring more attention to it. And it's not necessary. It's not. If they just focus on that at least half as much as they focus on AEW, they can put it on any other Ring of Honor guy. They could have kept it on my guy Grisham. They could have kept it. No, they could have put it on Wheeler. He showed himself as the pure champion. They could have put on numerous other wrestlers and built Ring of Honor accordingly. But they're just taking the lazy way out in this way.
It's gonna be a watered down version of Ring of Honor, just like ECW was watered down when it was fully absorbed in WWE. This is gonna be like a brand extension. It's not really gonna be his own thing. I don't feel like they're capable of it. Just like you said, he bought it because he could, and because of the video library, they have that history and all that stuff they can show, video packages, everything comes together, looks good. I honestly feel that that's what it's for more than like a relaunch, because they're just going to meld together. They're going to throw them together whenever they need to. They're going to put the title on whoever they feel is necessary to build AEW before Ring of Honor. That's really the whole point. So it is what it is, in my opinion. It wasn't necessary. They really shouldn't have, because of what Ring of Honor is, but they are going to tarnish the legacy of Ring of Honor the same way that ECW was tarnished when it had the big silver belt and was just made the third brand over in WWE.
And if they keep reducing the focus on Ring of Honor, just like Harv said, how ECW was absorbed into the WWE and eventually faded out, unfortunately, I see that happening with Ring of Honor. I see it being absorbed. They'll try little stints here and there to try to make Ring of Honor into something. Again, there's going to be little to no energy into it. Then eventually, whoever the Ring of Honor champion is, they're going to go one-on-one with whoever the AEW champion is to have a unification match. Then whoever wins is going to be the main champion, and Ring of Honor just gone forever. It's sad because I don't want to say grew up because I've been alive longer than Ring of Honor, but I've watched so many Ring of Honor matches. I've seen so many Ring of Honor shows. I followed so many Ring of Honor wrestlers over the years, and it just sucks that this is just the result of such a great wrestling organization, but whatever.
Yep, I agree.
I agree too, because the way how AEW already handles its own product with its shows, it's already clusterfuck and unorganized right now. And trying to add something brand new with a whole nother brand and division within this clusterfuck of a promotion is just not going to make anything better. And things and people are just going to get lost in the wayside if you're not a major television champion. There's only so much you could put with all the people that got on their roster, and with all these, not this. Just make all the people that got on the roster, and you add another brand to it. It's already clustered and too much going on with just their 3-hour program, and 2-hour program, and it's even worse when it comes to Rampage when they try to jumble everything in for that 1-hour program. It's not working out. And you now trying to add Ring of Honor to the mix, and it's just feel like it's going to be slowly just get lost in the threshold of everything, and that's going to be it, unfortunately. And what we knew as Ring of Honor as a prominent independent wrestling promotion throughout this time is just going to be washed away by this brand new unorganized promotion because of their money.
Yeah, it's over now.
Yeah.
That's if the ROH that we knew.
Yes.
Right.
You'll never see that again.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate, but like I said, hope for a turnaround, hope for the best, because that was a prominent wrestling promotion. And since we're on the topic of AEW, let's stay on it real quick. Let's talk about a debut that happened not too long ago with them, which was by Saraya, formerly known as Paige from the WWE. She is now All Elite. Trying to figure out the status of her of her character, because we know that she had the whole neck injury at WWE and she was unable to perform for all the years and was never medically cleared. So we're just trying to figure out what is she gonna do on the AEW side. Is she gonna wrestle? She's gonna be, a valet? Is she gonna be a manager? What do you think is in the books for Saraya on AEW?
If she wrestles, cool. If she doesn't, it was pointless. It was honestly no point to them signing her. Like you were saying, just the last subject we was talking about, she's gonna get lost in the shuffle. They have too much going on and too little time to put everybody on the pedestal that they want them on. She's just gonna have this big debut a couple weeks, and then she'll get lost in the shuffle like everybody else. If she's not gonna be a competitor, that's just how I see it. As a valet, she's gonna be lost in the shuffle. There's really no other meaning to her being there if she's not gonna compete. Unless they start a faction around her like they do with William Regal and all these other cats start their little clubs, but I don't see that happen.
To be honest, I really don't care about this debut. I mean, was I shocked that she debuted? Yeah, but more or less, like I was kind of past her career already in the ring. She is the result of a couple of unfortunate circumstances because of her injury. She came out hot, 20 years old, Divas and Women's Champion, but then she got hurt. Then she left, came back strong, started a faction, got hurt again. Then she was general manager here and there, and then of course her personal issues outside the ring. The whole thing with Alberto for a while, like that really put a lot on her name, and then that she was just quiet. Then all of a sudden you see her show up in AEW. I do agree that she should wrestle, but I honestly think she would have some type of benefit and as a manager. Again, it's not. I don't really see too much of a benefit from a wrestling side just because of where her career has taken her up until this point. I feel that she can help push some of the women in AEW, be a mouthpiece for them, because she's good being in the manager role. I'm fine with that. But as far as a wrestling career, she can get back in the ring, she can be medically cleared, she can be safe. Great, I'm all for it. But if not, wonderful. I'm not. I don't really care too much about this debut right now. I'm not looking forward to much from it either.
The whole thing with the medical clear thing situation, I'm not gonna go against WWE doctors, because when they say somebody is a medical clear and they hold them off on the show for a while, they're usually right, because some of the wrestlers that came from WWE and went over to AEW that were put on the shelf and they were not allowed to wrestle. Mm-hmm. They've been getting injured over here in AEW of recent. And so that's one thing. And also another thing with Saraya, if she goes into AEW as a manager role type thing, she might as well just stay with WWE, because with that, WWE is the entertainment. And so you will get more valued as a manager on WWE program than you would on AEW program. I get it to like a certain degree, because AEW you have more independency and like other endeavors that you may want to do per se outside of wrestling. So she may have other things in the works up her sleeve when it comes to that, and she still wants to be involved with the wrestling world. But I knew the whole thing that she wanted to leave WWE because it was the whole thing with the whole Twitch situation. But they let the wrestlers get that back with WWE. So, it's like, if that was the main situation, the main case, it makes sense to me just to stay with WWE, because you're going to get paid better on the WWE, 9 times out of 10, pretty much. You get to be a manager, which is even better because you don't have to be as physical, and you have better health stats for everything, and you get your Twitch channel back. I say I'm not telling her how her life is or like know what's going on behind the scenes, but if we're just looking from the outside in, which is all we can do, that just sounds like the better situation to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I think financially and publicity wise, she would have benefit with staying in the WWE. Her point of view, and obviously we're not her, we're just speculating. She probably looking at like, she done enough in the WWE, but she was also limited a lot in the WWE. AEW is probably just a fresh start for her. Just a fresh start, get out there to try something new, somewhere new, somewhere that's high status. Because yeah, she could have went to Impact, she could have went to different wrestling organizations and tried to be a name there, but she wanted to stay on that top level because she was in the WWE so young, and so she wanted to keep that top level. So if WWE has so many limitations, like you mentioned with Triple H or how WWE are, they're more relaxed on certain things. Yeah, she could have had that, but I think her thing overall is that she wants something new, and she was going to get that with AEW.
Yeah, I think they had that hard.
No, man, I agree. I just feel like it's gonna ultimately be a fruitless endeavor. It is gonna amount to
words.
I think it's gonna amount to anything.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens and see how it goes for her. Like I said, we wish her the best with her new career in AEW.
I love Saraya. I love her to death. I feel like she's very talented. In the ring, outside the ring, the Twitch channel and all that. She's very talented. You know, I think she has a lot that she can add that's valuable to either company. I just don't feel like they're gonna do her right in AEW, just like they couldn't figure out what to do with her in WWE in that later time.
Right, and that's the thing too, because you know people that may feel like they want to be on top or have been on top, switch to AEW, so you keep that same status, but it's all up to AEW to see if they're going to continue that status with them, which gives that people the mindset, should I consider going back to the WWE instead if this whole AEW thing doesn't work out, which ties into this whole thing and this whole situation about former WWE superstars that may be with AEW or in other organizations are willing and wanting to come back to the World Wrestling Entertainment because it's underneath new staff, new management, and underneath a person that I feel like people have a lot of respect for with Triple H and Hunter and everything. And so with that, we did hear some things in the rumor mill, on social media, they're going to talking about, there were some allegations of tampering with all elite wrestling superstars to try to get them to come back to the WWE, per se. And, with that, it's like, hey, it is what it is. But the thing about it, wrestlers under contract, it's hard to break the contract, especially they can hold you to it. Like they can't break if they don't want to. So how do you feel about this whole rumor going around that WWE's trying to get their old superstars back? I really hope and wish they get Adam Cole back. That's all I ask for. Besides that, everybody can stay. Everybody can stay. I don't care. But if they get Adam Cole back, I'll be a happy camper. But go ahead, J-Bo.
You actually, I want Harv to start off on this one because I got a lot to.
Go ahead, Big Harv.
I mean, we reported on it pretty much the whole time it was happening. We felt like a lot of the people that ended up leaving didn't really want to or were mistakes and should have stayed. And they went to AEW out of necessity. They didn't have a job anymore. So there are certain people who would do better going back to WWE because it's so oversaturated and they're not getting opportunities that they deserved and that they thought they were going to get by jumping over to AEW. So I feel like for some people, it's smart. A lot of people are going to be in the same position regardless of where they are. But for a lot of people, it is a smart decision to try to get back over to the more entertainment-heavy wrestling organization, if that's, what your goal is. WWE is still top. That's still top dog, regardless of what you prefer or what certain people prefer. If you're a wrestling guy or entertainment guy, WWE is still top, regardless. So some people, that's the goal. That's always going to be the goal.
Yeah.
True.
Despite if WWE is tampering or trying to get AEW guys or whatever, it's inevitable that wrestlers are going to go back to the WWE. It happens all the time. WCW, when WCW became a thing, wrestlers left and then they came back. Look at Impact Wrestling. Oh, when they was hot, everybody was going over there. Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, Booker T. The list went on and on and on. And what happened? They all came back. AEW, from how things are right now, because there's been a major shift in wrestling. The Vince McMahon era is done. The Triple H era, who gave us such wonderful content with NXT, it is here, and it's looked like it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Who wouldn't want to go back? On top of the fact that AEW, they're dealing with this whole thing with CM Punk and then Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, all these top executives. So they're having issues. And then all the main world champions, they're all still in the same place. I think the only one person who wasn't world champion beforehand who became AEW champion was Adam Hangman Page. Everyone else has been a major world champion, so no other wrestlers are really getting that top opportunity. Then, if you look at even the more core piece of it, Cody Rhodes himself, the guy who pretty much made AEW what it is today, even he went back. Okay, so the writing is on the wall. It's going to happen. We're going to see more and more wrestlers go away. WWE is going to go back into that prominent position which they always been, and it's kind of upsetting because I love AEW. I love the content they bring out, and I think they could do so much more if they actually utilize the talents in a top level and not just the main ones over and over. Dean Ambrose is a 3-time world champion. That is unnecessary at this point. It's unnecessary. So yes, if they utilize them better and actually create a more structured, organized, respectable working environment, then this conversation probably wouldn't even happen. But because of how things are currently going, unless they get order, unless they give opportunities, unless they realize we got too many wrestlers going on here and we need to utilize them accordingly, they're going to go back. They're going to go back to the promised land, which is WWE.
Promised land.
Yeah. Promised land.
That's my thing too. It's like, who wouldn't want to go? Okay, let me not ask that question. Well, from my perspective, like, who wouldn't want to go back to WWE, especially in its state right now?
Right.
You know, maybe beforehand, I would get the question, but
right.
You know, there's probably a lot of other stuff that go on backstage that we don't know about. I don't know about, but still, in the whole spectrum, everything, who wouldn't want to go back to the WWE?
I guarantee you,
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan would go back.
He said Daniel Bryan. No, man, at least half. At least half of the guys are strongly considering that. If the
at least 70% shit.
Yeah, it may be even higher. Yeah. Cool.
It's like you can't beat that. Like you can't beat the WWE pay. Like that's first and foremost. I don't know what the AEW contracts are, how much they pay, stuff like that. But I know it ain't more.
No billionaires no more.
You say what?
Who the billionaire over there? WWE ain't got no billionaires.
What that mean? They're still a $1 billion organization.
They ain't got no billionaires.
Okay.
AEW got a billionaire.
But I don't think they're paying them the type of money that they still not paying them the type of money.
At CMB. CMB.
Cash money billionaire. I just don't think I need to see some contracts, something like that. I don't think AEW paying.
They do need.
AEW ain't paying superstars like WWE paying superstars.
I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think they do either. But
I'm pretty sure some got decent, like maybe 6-figure contracts. But outside of that, I don't think nobody getting paid $1 million like some of these WWE superstars are.
I think there's probably a couple, but very few.
Yeah, if it is, it's Jericho and John Moxley.
Yeah, I think Jericho at least getting $1 million.
Yeah, Jericho and John Moxley are the only people that may be getting $1 million a year.
WWE, they got networks. They have major merchandising effect. They have international audiences, and they've been around for so many years. Like, they have way more than just the televised wrestling that, you know, that's on TV here in America. Like, they have way more to bring in that type of income. Yeah, AEW, they're not there yet, and so no, they're not going to pay them the same WWE guys are paying. Just not.
No Billies, no Billies, no Billies, no Billies, no Bill, no Bill, no Billy, no Bill.
Oh well, look at this. John Moxley is according to the rumors on the internet and stuff like that, says John Moxley getting $6 million a year.
Maybe that's why he's a 3-time world champion,
right? And Chris Jericho, the second highest earning, getting $3 million a year.
That's why he got the Ring of Honor belt, man.
Then Cody, I'm not Cody. What's the name? Kenny Omega getting $3 million too. And after that, nobody getting $1 million. So yeah, those are people that get.
What about Punk? What's his contract looking like?
I didn't show that part.
I'm into a lot.
Right.
Jeez.
If he gets paid $1 million, we gonna have to need some talking or something like that. That's wild.
Extremely wild.
Right. Yeah, but like we said, we're gonna see what happens in the future and everything with the whole superstars because contracts gonna end soon. 2023 coming up, 2024. That's really when contracts gonna end, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Because Adam Cole contract in 2024. So we're gonna see what's that. MJF contract in 2024. So we're gonna see what happens with that. I can't wait. It's gonna be, you know, pin signatures everywhere, you know. It's gonna sound that down line. But that is all the time that we have for episode 58. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. And thank y'all for supporting everything. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate all the promotion you may be giving us. We thank y'all for tuning in. We thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for the follows and everything that I can't think of right now. But whatever we ask for, just thank you. And before we sign off real quick, y'all gotta do one simple favor for us, and that is to also all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. None of Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms. Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Power on everything. And don't forget to get your merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR Podcast. This is episode 58. KTR, #KTR, Another Roast Podcast. And we are out.
What should they do, Big Harv?
Pump them goddamn numbers for the one time. Yeah.
That don't compute in my mind, I must be out of mind. Black fist high, rally up before we out of time.
We'll